So probably just like you, every week I get students come and see me wanting to know how to hit drivers straight. Now they think that because they've got these big booming slices or big booming hooks, they need drastic changes to their golf swing. More often than not, all I'm doing is making the smallest changes to what they're doing, either at setup or even a little bit in their swing, to help them to hit drivers straight. In this video, I'm going to share with you some of the things I do because I think it could really help you too. Now, before I get into the video, look, if you're new to the channel, so your first lessons of mine, please consider subscribing, or at least videos just like this every single week to try and help you improve your game. But you never have to remember a thing. I'll always put a free download practice guide in the description box below. So my hope for you today is that you're going to find just one or two things that you're going to find so simple, it's going to help you hit that driver so much straighter. The first thing I want to discuss is controlling the center of your golf swing. A lot of people don't know where that center is, and it's super important if you want to learn how to hit any shot straight for that matter. So the first thing to do is this. The center of your swing, understanding that the golf swing is always a circle, you're creating an arc, okay? Look, you're creating an arc all the time in the golf swing. It's like a circle. You need to know where your center is. Now, the center of your golf swing, just like mine, is directly underneath, look, my armpit here. Anything, if you strike a ball to the left of center, you're going to probably slice it or pull it. If you strike a ball to the right of this center, you're going to push or hook it. So I'll just show you from this visual here, look, if I stand here, if I hit a ball to the left of center, the club face is aiming over here, I'm got more in slice territory. If I have an open face, I will slice that ball over here. If I have the ball over this side, I strike a ball over here to the right of my center, I'm going to hit the ball to the right. If I have a closed face, it'll hook over to the left, right? So your ability to control the center of your swing is so important. Now all I'm going to do now is going to show you how you control it first of all in your setup, then I'll show you how you control it throughout the swing. So we'll look at the down the line aspect just in a second. Let's first of all look at from face on. So the two things that are going to help you hit driver straight, we've just said, look, your ability to control your center, but that's heavily influenced by your ball position. So step one, get that ball position off your lead heel. Why is that important? Well, look, it's also linked to the center of your golf swing, right there. And we said, look, if you get that ball consistently in the right spot every time, off that lead heel, you're going to increase your likelihood of hitting it straight. Anything ahead of that point, if the ball position is here, you're bringing in slices. If, as we said earlier, if your ball position is too far back in your stance, not only are you going to bring in hooks and maybe too many draws, you're going to also hit too down on the golf ball. Because notice this, we're hitting down on it from here. You're going to struggle to get the ball up in the air, yeah? So get that ball, start off with just off that lead heel. The next thing is this. Get your weight even, really even to start with. A lot of people start to kind of lean back here. What's this done? It's moved your center where? Too far behind the golf ball. What's now that going to happen? If your center's too far behind the ball, where are you going to swing on the arc? Left. So you're already bringing in slices. So that you've got your ball position in place. Then what I want you to do, get even weight, put your driver, put it right down the middle of your stance like this. And then all you're going to do is make just the smallest tilts to the driver now head is pointing, look where? Right at the ball line. Look at how tiny that is. That's all it is. That movement there, look, that subtle movement is now absolutely perfect to hit that ball exactly the way you want it. And that's the routine I want you to get in time and time again. So before we move on to the golf swing, let's show you the impact of a great setup. So I get myself set here, look, ball is off the lead heel here. And then look, I'm going to get my weight nice and even, point the club towards my lead heel here. That gets my center absolutely spot on. Setup is done. Now, of course, there's things we're going to think about in the golf swing, but for now, if you don't get this right, you've got no hope of hitting driver straight consistently. So let's have a look at this in action. So nice, easy swing to start with. Let's just have a look at those numbers and look at that there, look, dead straight, and look at this, attack angle, almost zero. That means, look, we said, look, right at the bottom of the arc. Look at my club path, 1 degree, just 1 degree, just there. That is the power of ball position. Now look at this from this angle. Hit one more from here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to change that ball position. I'm going to move that ball position now, look. 1, 2 balls forward. Maybe not even 2 balls. We're going to move it just maybe 1.5 balls forward of center. I am not going to change my swing or my alignment. Let's just have a look now what happens with a ball position that's just forward of that. So actually, just before I hit this shot, it already feels weird. It feels like the ball forward, my shoulders are already aiming left to tag, which is going to exasperate this kind of like slice across, and not just ball position, but it's also affecting my stance. And again, I see this so often. So let's have a look at this in action here. I'm not changing my alignment here, just purely ball position. Let's have a look at this. 1, 2, really felt as though it's going to pretty high that, to be fair. Let's have a look at this. Look at the difference, look at that. Club path, -10, just from a ball position, creating that curve. And look at that, 259 yards. That's 30 yards less than the other one with exactly the same golf swing. So what would happen if your ball position was too far back of that? Well, let's show you that in action. So if I get the ball position now, so back of this line, so we're gonna now move it the same distance back, maybe 1.5 balls to 2 balls back of center. What will happen? Well, in theory, we should hit slightly more down on this golf ball, so we're going to de-loft it. If you do this excessively, we could sky it. I'm not going to do that because I'll damage my driver and leave marks on the top. All I'm going to do now is make exactly the same golf swing. Let's just see what happens. So 1, 2, let's have a look. Come on, there's numbers. Look how low that is. Look, and there's your hook, look. The club path now, look, is a positive number, which means I'm coming out to the right-hand side. My attack angle now is no longer am I hitting up on the golf ball, look, I'm actually hitting down on it. This is all, look, killing my yardage. I'm going to get some roll out here, but it's killing my distance. Both of those drives are 30 yards less, and without just a simple change of ball position. So hopefully now we've made it really clear that getting a great setup is the first stage in making sure or helping you guarantee a much straighter drive. Now let's look at what you can do in the golf swing, again, still relating to the center so you can look after it. So what I love my students to do is almost visualize this center. So if you look at this here, I get them to almost close their eyes, almost put the club out in front of them here and think, look, this is where straight is. This is where you're going to be hitting down on the golf ball, you may be pushing it to the right or hooking it. Here on this side of the shoulder is going to be your kind of like your fades, your pulls, your slices, right? So I want you to make some swings. You've got your setup in place. You've got your center in place. Make some small rehearsal swings where you're paying attention to where that club head is relative to your shoulder. Now, a lot of people during their swing, particularly if you slice, they're often moving backwards. And if you move backwards, what does that do? It's going to get the path going left. You're going to be into slice territory. So some good players drive forward. This is going to get you going into hook territory, hitting down on the golf ball. So making some swings with just this simple visual of noticing where you are here. And you could almost put the club straight down. 1, 2. That could be a nice rehearsal. Look, 1, 2, 1, no, 1, no. Just practice bringing that club head back right underneath that shoulder there. So once you've got setup, obviously setup is going to make that easy. If the ball position is in the wrong place and your center's in the wrong place to start with, none of it's going to work. You make life really difficult right from the outset. But once I've got this setup in place, I get myself set here. 1, 2, I've got an idea now and a feeling of how I can start hitting more fairways with my driver. So let's start with a really nice, easy swing. I've got my ball position in place here, my center's in place, get myself set here, and away we go. Didn't quite strike that one brilliantly well. But even when I didn't strike it very well, look how straight it's gone. Look at these numbers here. They're around 0, which is brilliant. And that came out the bottom of the club for me there. But when you get set up right, when you look after your center, even missed strikes, look. These numbers here are your accuracy numbers. When they're close to 0, you're going to be hitting the ball straight. This is what we work on. Once you've done that, of course, you can ramp up the power and start to really give it a crack. And look, get these basics right. Look after that center. Once you've done that, then just watch this video right here. This is the one that's going to add yardage to your game, but this is the thing that's going to help you hit driver straight. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, maybe share it with one of your friends, and of course, look, if you're new to the channel, press that subscribe button and the bell. But until next week, have a wonderful golfing week.